creating the best learning environment, I just thought, we are all adults. Why is that the learning and development team should look at creating a learning environment for them? When I attended a conference, one of the senior HR professionals asked the audience, how many of you had learned cycling? And all of them raised their hands. Then he asked, if for 10 years you don't get to see a cycle, and after 10 years you're asked to ride it, would you be able to do that? Again, everyone raised their hands. He then asked one interesting question. All of you might have learned a concept called escape velocity in your class 11. How many of you would be able to explain that? There was pin drop silence and one person raised his hand. And he was a physics teacher. The rest of them had learned cycling, but they had not learned escape velocity. The difference between learning and just reading something or memorizing something is completely different. When you learn something in the right way, we should be able to put it into practice in our real life. And to do that is why we require the best learning environment. If our colleges, schools, and sometimes even corporate training environments had achieved that, I wouldn't have seen a 9th grade boy writing a leave letter stating, as I am suffering from my brother's wedding, I request you to grant me leave for 2 days. To bridge this gap, the industry is flooding in a lot of money, time and effort in making their employees industry ready. In one of the statistics that was presented by Times of India earlier this year, they said 80% of the engineers are non-employable. That was like, okay, I'm also an engineer, but fine. Then, in one of the addresses by Shailendra Babu, an IPS officer, he mentioned that our statistics reported that nearly 90% of the arts graduates are non-trainable. So, it's very evident that we need to look at creating the best learning environment, and companies like WIPRO and many other organizations have handled it very effectively in the past, and they continue to do now as well. So today's discussion will be hovering around the challenges involved in creating this best learning environment. So Praveen sir, actually I'd like to start with you by asking, why is that we are looking at creating this kind of a learning environment, and what exactly are the challenges that we are facing when we try to do that in corporates?
So, can I walk?
Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, thank you very much and welcome all my dear students to WIPRO community. Many of you know me, have seen me, heard me in the past. So, warm welcome to those people who made an attempt to come inside WIPRO campus. Okay, once again. Thanks CK, thanks Balaji for giving me an opportunity. So I'm going to unsettle you with an answer to his question. But I might extend that also. First of all, I'm extremely tense today. I think you're all fraternity of good speakers. I come from a vernacular medium and I've learned this language called English in my life. Fortunately or unfortunately, practice taught me to be a Toastmaster. And I am today not qualified Toastmaster, but I teach in most of the B schools in the best known cities in the world. So I'm very proud to stand in front of you to tell you a story that learning, going back to his subject, is easy when there is hard work. So I think continue to work hard on your learning skills to exploit and explore the talent within you. That's the first thing which you need to keep in mind. I will continue, maybe in the second question, a little more. Because green card upar aa gaya.
So, CK sir, I'd like to know, you had trained a number of individuals in different countries, and you had trained employees of TCS for nearly 12 years. So, are the challenges different when you go to different countries?
Thank you once again, Balaji. Like you said, I think I must add to what Praveen said. To quote Professor Abdul Kalam, past President Abdul Kalam, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear.
Yes.
No amount of pushing will make you learn. Because unless you want to learn, I don't think anything can be done. But coming back to the challenge part of it, I was consistently used to instructor-led training, where I have my trainings face-to-face. We have role plays because I mainly teach influencing without authority and negotiations, for which we need to have live case studies. But today organizations say, make it digital. So all I do is sit in front of a system where I upload my PPT and I've given a phone line and I have 300 folks sitting across the world, and I assume that they're listening to me, but 50% of them mute their button and they don't even know that they're getting involved. This is a sad state for a facilitator who's got used to feedback, live feedback. But then I cannot just wish away from this because, as C.K. Prahlad says, it's not the best practice, it's the next practice. Because the challenge for training providers and the organization is, how do I make use of digital platforms effectively and still make sense to the learner and the facilitator? That I foresee is the biggest challenge that I am facing right now, which of course we are trying to overcome. It has come to such a ridiculous state that when I ask my wife to iron some clothes, she says, anyway, you're going to sit and talk in front of a system. So it doesn't matter
That's one of the valid points, because digital learning is something, I am not a very technology friendly person, though I had been in WIPRO and now with Microland, but I do fear teaching over Skype or something, because it's difficult to monitor some activities that we ask them to do. That's one of the challenges that I do face. So, yes, Praveen sir, so, you being with a technology-oriented company, how far has this technology-oriented learning gone in WIPRO?
So I will not give the context of WIPRO. I want to give you the context of what has happened in the technology space with respect to learning. The two key things which you look at when you look at people who are younger, smarter, better, outlook-wise, attitude-wise, feeling-wise, delivery-wise. The two great things which have happened very differently. One is crowdsourcing. None of the kids today out there, all of you are included. They're all millennials, right? They're all baby boomers. Okay? All of you have the ability to learn at your will, at your pace, at your time by using technology. Nobody likes to sit for 8 hours of boring, unidirectional, one-directional guest lecture session. Crowdsourcing is one great method. The second great method which has worked well with youngsters is gamification. Today, if you look at large companies, people do gamify their induction program. You just come inside the induction program, 1 hour later, you understood about the company in and out by playing a game. You answered some quizzes, at the end of it, you know exactly what this company is all about. Gamification is the second. Third thing is by networking. You go sit with people who are better than you, who are qualified than you, or willing to give you learnings. I call it as networking. It could be on social platforms, it could be online, offline. You make sure networking gives you the relevant learning which is required to learn, and the base in which you learn is many more years, which all of them took together, which comes handy within those 5 minutes, 10 minutes, half an hour, 1 hour. So that's the power of networking. These are the three exceptional way of learning technology has led to.
That was really spot on, sir. Thank you so much. So, it's like gamification is something that I'd like to steal from your speech and use it in my training sessions probably. But a really great point from your end. Thank you so much. But, sir, when we have an environment, when you have a company like WIPRO where you have multicultural people, is it the same style of teaching going to work out for everyone? So I'd like to hear your views on that. You being a visiting faculty at many places.
Yeah. So okay. So cultural aspect. So when you look at culture from a standpoint of age, profile, education, experience, background, family setups, South versus North Indian, so culture is a combination of all. So first of all, you need to really empathize and understand what you are referring to when you say culture. In my opinion, from what Balaji asked just now, how do you reach out to so-called millennials who are born after 80s? Who have an attention span of 8 minutes, 9 minutes, 10 minutes. My daughter is 10 years now, she has an attention span of 1 minute. You have to convey about reading, scoring, competing, and winning in that 1 minute. Can you do it? I've done it. I taught her maths by giving her my iPad and said, there is some game in it. There are some puzzles in it. Coincidentally, she learned mathematics. My wife learned Italian dish making by switching on a video called YouTube. Wherein you can make the cook fast, come back. Cook fast, come back. So there is repetitiveness, and there is nothing like a gospel which Praveen speaks and CK speaks and forgotten today. YouTube will enhance your ability to do the same old job again and again. And in turn, what happens is you learn on the fly. You learn by doing. That's the last item which I want to impress. The way you do things by your own hands, by doing, you learn. That's the biggest asset of learning. The day you look at an instructor and learn, you might fail. We belong to that category. You belong to the first category. All the best.
Thank you so much.
I would like to slightly take away from what Praveen said. Now today, the problem with the millennials is you have so much of information, the deluge of information. And many times, you are not sure what to take. And that's why I feel MIT Sloan Management conducted a survey recently, and very surprisingly, a leading IT firm in India also conducted a survey among millennials, and both sectors, the uniform concern, 96% of the respondents said, especially millennials, what they want in learning is the choice of a good mentor. Because as he rightly said, I have so many opportunities to learn, but what do I do at what stage is my challenge. How I wish I had a mentor, not really from a pedestal preaching and preaching, but someone to guide me and tell me this is the way. And I can tell you there are so many of youngsters rotting simply because they don't know what stage to take. I think a judicious combination of technology and the right kind of hand-holding, I don't mean spoon-feeding, but to show that this is where the technology is leading to will be of a great help. And are we able to manage this is a big challenge. And frequently seniors are being asked to do this, act as a guide, act as a mentor, and in most organizations, mentoring has become a very formalized process where millennials are signing up like by droves because they do feel there is an advantage of all this. That's my view.
Thank you so much. So, actually coming back to your point on baby boomers who try to enhance their skills, there is a good possibility that they will be lost at some point in time. So, what is that they can possibly look at? One is that they can look at some mentors, but other than that, how to find the right mentor is also a big challenge sometimes.
I think good question. And this is where I just want to link you back with two concepts which you are mad at. And all of you are mad at. Startups versus people who are sustained doing extremely well. For me, Jamshedji Tata was a startup when he started Indian hotels. Today, if you're reading newspaper, which you're all busy, you may not be reading, I read, 50% of the startups have closed. It's in this week's news. For me, baby boomers can give you stability and a wisdom of deep domain. I call it as, while they have jack of all, master of one. Can you have master of one? Can you get into one specialization? Get into depth of the specialization. That's one. Second, they give you tons of experiential learning in couple of seconds, minutes, hours. That's why I always tell, when there is a old and goldie, a person who is retired, a person who has seen the industry, make networking friendship with him. Tweet that guy. Connect with him. Send him a LinkedIn invite. He's a consultant now. He may not be attached to a big brand like WIPRO, but he has time. You have to get them years of learning from him just by talking to them. That's the second. The third one, before the green card comes, I just want to impress on you that these are the people who teach you something called perseverance. In my own definition of perseverance is nothing but patience with a little bit of common sense, which is very uncommon. You will learn enough amount of perseverance from them. You go, walk around, see a destination is what they will say. So learn perseverance from them. Just keep behind the difference between Dravid and Tendulkar. Both are successful. Think about it.
Thank you for leading us with that great thing that probably most of us will be sleeping on that thought tonight. Yes,
Lots of practical tips. Every Saturday, I'm associated with this IMB NSRCL, NS Raghavan Center for Entrepreneurial Learning. We have something called a Startup Saturday, where people are invited to come and share their work experiences. So you may want to attend as a guest, maybe once or twice in a month, and that will give you a lot of groundwork, and it will give you some field knowledge about how these guys overcame certain challenges, what to do and what not to do. And I'm sure there is an incubation center which will also help you on the nitty-gritties.
IMB has an incubation center for the startups, and CK sir happens to be one of the visiting faculties at IIM Bangalore and IIM Ahmedabad. So, yes, CK sir, this is one question that I'd like to ask. We try to, when an individual enters an organization, we have this training program. We groom them, we tell them how to dress, how to speak and all that. But somewhere, are we not trying to affect the individuality of that person? So how does this person behave as per the expectations of the organization, but also maintain his individuality? This is one of the challenges that I think I would like to hear the views from both of you on this.
Sure. No, we come from different platforms, right? We come from rural background, we come from city background, and some people are much more privileged simply because they can speak English with a clipped accent, whereas the rural folks may not have. Sorry, not audible. Yeah, now it's okay. Yeah, may not have that facility. But what happens when you get into an organization is you're dealing with a global customer. We are not asking to change your DNA, but even people from rural India, what we tell them is, make sure your accent is neutral. Not that we want you to sound very high-flying or something, but you have to make your accent neutral and understand that there are certain formalities to be followed. It's just that you're representing an organization, not that we are going to change your inner self or something. I know many seniors who've been abroad for 20 years, but they still prefer, they will not touch anything except sambar, rasam and curd rice in some of the most hostile countries. In fact, some guys make very innovative use of all. It's not that you have to leave your dogmas, but this is all about adapting to the culture of the organization. That's all. And I think that will be an easy thing to do. It's not just by practice, but once you know the useful, simple thing like learning a language. In Spain, for example, if you just speak in the client's language, they have a much better opportunity of winning clients rather than speaking in English. These are some things. It is not that you're going to change your way, but it's just that you have to adapt. That's the key.
Thank you, sir.
For him.
Going back to the conversation which we started. I was talking to Rahul. It was a journey from Bombay to Bangalore. How did he build his personal brand or brand equity? He was ignored after being chosen as Wall of India for test matches. He was ignored until he got one opportunity to play that one of those one-day matches wherein he taught a lesson to the Pakistani bowler saying that I can also hit you outside of the boundary, which is called a six, consecutively. He learned the art of one-dayers. You know why? Because in Chinnaswamy Stadium, when it was raining, when there is jam outside, you found only one fellow asking a rookie to bowl with a wet ball inside Chinnaswamy was Rahul. There is no way you can beat hard work. I was from a vernacular medium, first year PUC, which is 11th standard for many of you. When I was asked in my first day, first bencher, first person, what's your name? I rattled my name. What's your father? I said he's a man. I learned this language from that day onwards because I was a man for next 2 years. Consecutively for the next 2 years, plus 3 years of my graduation, I went, what's the good word? Open page, the Hindu, learned word by word, went and spoke about that language, called English, and miserably insulted by my convent going girls and boys.
Ooh.
Today, I might be looking pompous. I go to the B schools, which are absolutely stunning in their outlook, and I teach them management subjects. I might look extremely pompous or an income poop today. I use big jargons if I require to. Going back to your roots, remembering your roots, working it hard, playing it hard, gives you the brand equity. Nothing else.
That was like more than what I had asked for. I remember your speech last time on the same stage when we were invited for our Platinum Jubilee function. He said that he had learned only one language called Banglish when he was in schools, and now he is teaching at B schools. That's a great improvement that was learned only by practice. So now we have just a few more minutes left. So the audience, if you have any questions, you can ask the panelists, but I request you to address your questions to one of the panelists. Yes, Pramod.
If it's a tough question, you can ask Sita.
Okay, my question is, it's been a while I have this question and I think it's the right time to ask. Usually in the education system that we have, people tend to do well in structured form of studies, wherein the curriculum is set and people are expected to form the way they do. Once they get into a professional environment where nothing is structured and many people falter there. So what kind of thought process should students have to address these kind of challenges in working?
So, I'm a loud mouth. Yes. Okay, I can still use this. Simple formula. Simple is complex, by the way. Okay? Simple thing in life. You have to score well. You have no choice. Academics gives me an impression when I see your CV. What scores have been scored tells me you were sincere. A. B. You were hardworking. C. You respected your father's money or mom's money. No negotiation on academics. If somebody tells you saying that, "Arey yaar, academics mat kar lo," white lie. They're putting you in deep trouble. Okay, don't do it. I was academically brilliant and I'll continue to be. Having said that, you have to be a sports person. When I say sports, not the literal sports. You live in a society.
Please continue. Please continue.
So I live in a society wherein you have to continue to connect with people. So as students, relate to people. Go and play a game. Take dash out of that guy who's playing with you. You become spirited person, not after spirits. Spirited person. That's second as a student. The third one, you should touch areas which are unexplored by people. That means you have to sit and read newspaper, radio, television, whatever required by you. Read books, not Facebook. That's the problem with us. Connect with Twitter and invite somebody to evaluate your paper. I think there are many methods to madness, but it's all hard work. If you don't work hard, there is nothing like a shortcut, fast food item, it's only in food. Everything else is unreality. Can you take the child out of the home? Fast. What will happen? The child will die. Nature has taught us there is nothing called fast. Only Usain Bolt can be fast. That also we don't know. He's deciding now. And he has committed now to run the last leg of his 100 meters. Except these two, nothing else is fast. You have to work hard and harder and hardest. See his videos, you'll understand.
I'll just add to this, before time manager doesn't mind. Yes, this is a challenge that all students face. Unfortunately, you cannot focus on extracurricular activities during school because people judge you, WIPRO or TCS will judge you only with the marks that you get. So that is non-negotiable, as Praveen said. But as you get into organizations like this, maybe you should get your learning going by joining Toastmasters, which is a wonderful opportunity because you get feedback. And also, I'm sure today organizations are willing to organize any kind of training programs, especially when you go and ask them. Plenty of online resources. I think most of the organizations that I have worked with have so many open coursewares. So I think all that is required is your willingness, and I'm sure you have a great future. That's what I think.
So, thank you very much for sharing your insights, sir. When Praveen mentioned about Twitter, only person whom I remembered, I guess most of us might be following his tweets, Abhijit Baduri,
Yes.
to learn a lot of things just in 2 minutes that you have. It's the best, one of the best ways to learn. If you think that you have short time, it just seems that you don't have time to read or something. One of Abhijit's posts said, maybe you are busier than Bill Gates if you think you are not, you don't have time to read, because Bill Gates reads like 7 books in a month. A lot of learning. So thank you very much for taking your time out in spite of a busy schedule. I know that he has to run back to Mysore, and he was working on his laptop when he was here before the session started. And in between that, he has taken time for us. And CK sir, thank you for traveling all the way from somewhere.
Actually, you should give him a Nobel Prize now. Traveling all the way to EC in the evening hours, he deserves a clap.